grab a pen and let's take a look at some of the content that we have here. Let's start with buyers in 2023. What's happening with the people who are out there on the hunt to purchase a home? Now, as buyers are going to be in two critical categories. There'll be the first-time home buyer and there will be the all-buyer category. And I'll try to point out where and when those data points vary, because certainly first-time home buyers have slightly different needs and take different actions than people who have bought multiple times in the past. But speaking of buyers this year, let's just start with the most important data point, which is 9 out of 10 of them worked with a real estate professional. So when it comes to their method of purchase, 89% worked with a realtor last year. Now, compared to 2022, that's actually up 86% in 2022. That tells us that as the market got a little more challenging, the value of a real estate professional increased in the mind of the consumer, and they worked with them even more than before. But I do want to point out, if you look at the chart, it's good news really over the last decade, because it's somewhere in the high 80s for the last 10, 12 years in terms of real estate professional value to the consumer. And if we would actually go back 20 years, so all the way to the left of this chart, you'll see where it was in the 70s, if you will. It means that over time, even though we've invented more systems, more tools, more technology, more gadgets, the value of the real estate professional has only gone up. Now, as we already said in our quiz, buyers are a very unique demographic right now. In fact, they are older than ever. So in 2023, buyers were 58 years on average in age. Now, it's a tiny bit down from the year before, 59, but basically if we look at both of them, they are up significantly over the last decade. In the last 5 years, the average was in the mid-50s, 54 to 56, and if we were to look back 10 years, we could see that age slowly and surely creeping up over time. So something is happening in the marketplace where the significant portion of buyers now are more baby boomers than Gen Xers and Gen Yers, millennials, and Gen Zers. Now, there are some of those. We do have plenty of people in the 20s and 30s age bracket who are buying, but they're really only constituting less than 1 in 3 buyers out there. 2 out of 3 buyers out there are basically over the age of 50. And again, as you can see here, 58 means that we still have a lot of buyers who are healthily in the market in their 60s and even their 70s. Wait till I show you the seller data, which is even deeper, more detailed in terms of that. This means when we're talking to the buyer market out there, we're talking about baby boomers, and they have unique needs in terms of where they are in their lifespan, their household composition, their family needs, their commuting needs, etc. Now, just to put that in big picture, and I don't have a ton of charts to this today, I tried to boil it down, but I really just wanted to show you what is happening with age here. The median age did fall just 1 year, but it's up. It's historically the highest since 1981. And if you look at that top line, which is all buyers, in the 80s, all buyers were in their 40s, in the 90s and the 2000s, they were in their mid-40s. In the 2000s to 2000 teens, they were getting into their 50s. But as you can see, basically, as a generation has aged, it has brought the buyer side of the housing market along with it. So we are squarely in the space of baby boomer buyers. The median age for repeat buyers was 49 years old. That really makes them Gen Xers, if you will, but not far behind the baby boomer area, and a tiny bit of those millennials are in there as well. Millennials are starting to turn over their homes for the second and some of them the third time. The median age of the first-time home buyer was 35. You'll notice that's also higher than ever before, and that is our middle line. And so our bottom line, 35, higher than ever before. Some of that has to do with obviously earnings potential as first-time home buyers also delayed purchases and entering the workforce longer than ever. They stayed in school longer than ever. So it makes sense that their first-time purchase is later in their 20s, which is how it skews that number up into its 30s. But in all categories, buyers were the oldest ever recorded since 1981. So something to keep in mind when you are doing your marketing strategy and your value proposition to these buyer consumers.